I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Two L's, one pod. That's us. We used to be the Talking Dicks. Now we're two L's, one pod. I'm Al Romas. I'm on the Anthem of the Seas, Royal Caribbean Anthem of the Seas. I think we're in Coco Cay. I haven't looked out the window yet. It's early. And that's Al Ducharme. He's in Aruba. He's working there that week. What's the name of the club, Alfredo?
Aruba Ray's, Ray Allen's comedy club. He brought comedy to Aruba.
Were they looking for it?
They needed it. I think maybe comedy may have been attempted here and there briefly, but he cemented it. He broke ground 9.5 years ago and going strong. Of course, he had to deal with the COVID, but it's great. People come in there and they're like, hey, Monday through Thursday. The weekends are turnover days, so there's no need to have comedy. So he's killing it.
It would be cool if you were just a civilian, type with your wife or girlfriend or whatever in Aruba, and then saw there's a comedy club with, American comics in there, and I mean that's what you want. I'd be like, hey, that's cool, that's great. So it's amazing that it wasn't there forever. It seems like that would work in other places. I think a guy opened one in Belize a couple of years ago. Do you remember that? The guy
I heard, I didn't. Yeah,
like a Southern guy, but then I think it was right around COVID, so he probably lost his shit. I mean,
again, these things come and go, and even actually Ray has moved. This is his 4th location, but he's already branded. I mean, you can see Aruba Ray's. He's got great posters. They're all over the island, and it's the go-to place. But he had to put a lot of work into it. The first couple of years was not profitable, but now he's got a system. What happens is, he's very good business-wise. He chums up to the managers, the GMs. He pitches it. He says, hey, you have this empty room. I've got Aruba Ray's comedy. And they go, great. And then they have all these people come in and the bar kills it. And then the manager leaves. A new manager comes in and goes, I'm going to put my name on things. So get rid of comedy. We're going to use this as a function room, and we're going to have blah, blah, blah for executives. And then they do like 2 of them and it's empty. And all that revenue just disappears.
Yeah, and in the States too. I mean, that happens a lot where you got a comedy club, one of those ballrooms type. Mm-hmm. Then next time you go back a year later, it's like, oh, the directions seem weird. And you're like, where are we? Oh, we're over at we're over at the Sheridan now. We're in the Winners Sports Bar, It's like, oh, what happened to that nice room you guys had over at the Marriott? Yeah, we lost that. We're over at Winners Sports Grill.
And
remember those gigs in the hotel with the sports bar, and then it becomes at 10 o'clock.
Oh, I've done many of those. Back in the heyday in Boston, all those little pubs kept popping up everywhere.
Well, on the road, it would be weird because you'd be there at like 8:30. The show's at 9, and you'd be there at 8:30. No one's in there. Nobody. And the bartender's like, "What are you guys, comedians?" I'm like, yeah. He just kind of laughs like you just did and walks away. And then by 9 o'clock, there's like 6 people, on those tabletops, but separated. And so there's no way to really get anything happening. And then, of course, the MC's got to go up, and those were nightmares.
There's so many combination of things that happen. The first 2 or 3 shows they do, it's gangbusters. Mm-hmm, it's like it's packed. It's like, oh my God, this is the best 100%. Comedy I've ever seen. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reasons, time of year, or just all of a sudden it goes out, wow, we were sold out last week. We had 185 people. I go, well, you got 6. Well, what happened?
Yeah, and then you got the 3rd week, 4th week, you got the road act who's just coming through town, and he drops the N-word or whatever he wants to, and then they're like, we're gonna get this got to end. This is no good.
That's why I always liked when comedy's being tested once a month. They do it once a month, sometimes one night, and just test it and see how it does in the area, volume wise, and then they add to it, and then we'll add a second night, and then But once you go weekly, if you don't have the foundation or the roots or the branding, It's really hard to maintain it.
Comedy night at Winter Sports Bar doesn't really work weekly. That's a
That's what I'm saying. It's a special thing if you do it. Yeah, a special thing. Last Thursday of the month, it's a special thing. All of a sudden, you're busy, and that's what you want. You want people to have a good time.
But they never do that. They always, they get caught up in it. And, they think, oh, we're going to make money here
every week. We're going to make $7,000 every week in my pocket. What about the ones that do all the advertisement and then they go, oh, that advertisement's too expensive. They stop the advertisement and then they cut their own head off.
Right. Well, it's like going on the road. Remember when you start out, you're like, oh, I'm going to make, $2,000. And then when you come home, you have $300 and you go, what happened? Like, what the fuck? What happened? I had $2,000, but it just fucking goes away. So it's never real. You know what I mean? If you think one night of comedy could become our business and we're going to kill it. Probably not. But those were fun gigs anyway. I mean, they were.
Some of them were great.
I wouldn't do them now. I don't want to do them now, but they were fun at the time. Like you didn't know. People ask you, was it fun? You go, I don't even know if it was fun. It was what we were doing. So I was having a good time, but I never thought like out the box, like, oh, maybe I'll go home and sell cars, which, probably should have been thinking, but I never did. I just sat at the bar and go, all right, we got 8 people. This will be good.
Oh, yeah. I'll do it. You know what? There's only 8 of them, but they're really good.
You hear that a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
They want to see come. These people come every week. Yeah. And they just laugh at everything. It's like, dude, it's 8 people.
What are they? They're retarded? What are they? Why are they laughing at everything?
Let's do this in my hotel room.
I get worried when they say they laugh at everything. It's like, that doesn't sound good. I want a little discriminate, a little, whatever, discretion. Yeah. The other one, what was the other one? Do they tell you? They go, oh, last week you get last week it was full. You hear that a lot when you go to a gig that's empty. Like they're blaming you somehow. Last week, I don't know, we were full last week. Okay. Yeah. Did you advertise? Did you do anything? No, but we just thought, we'd be full. Okay. Well, you were wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the game. It's part of the game.
Is it? Is it part of the game?
It was.
It was. Yeah.
So you never do any of those. You never go in on a Wednesday night. Someone calls you up. Hey, you want to come down and make a few hundred? You're not doing anything. You don't do them anymore. You said you don't do them anymore.
Oh, I meant on the road in a bar, like a week long thing.
No, yeah.
When was the last time? You can't do those anymore. I just got
I'm doing it now.
Well, yeah, you are. Except without traveling and you're in Aruba.
Yeah.
So it's a little nicer than.
And he's branded here now. So he's the only game in town on the island. So
I'd be funny if he was like the guy at the who got arrested at X. Is that called XM?
Oh,
no, the guy in New York.
FTX?
He was branding those girls that he was making into like sex slaves.
Yeah,
that'd be funny if Aruba Ray branded all you. Everyone who works at Aruba Rays gets actual branded, actual branding on their arm.
It says AR,
yeah,
and the letters are crossed over.
Yeah,
so you have to look at it sideways to figure out what it says. Oh my God, that's Aruba Ray. He branded me.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said he'd give me 16 weeks a year.
Do you want 16 weeks? You just said you were ready to get the fuck out of there. Come on.
Well, we tied it in with the wedding.
That's a long trip.
And it's
oh yeah,
it's 12. It'll be 12 days. I can do 2 weeks. That's good.
Yeah, no,
I had fun.
2 weeks. 2 weeks at anything is.
I was with Bernadette Pauly, who I'm married to, so we got to spend some time together and work together, and then.
You look like you're a hostage. You look like you're in shell shock. Are you okay, sir? You're like,
I am. I had a late night.
We got to spend 2 weeks together.
We went out last night. No, we went out last night.
Cocktails. Cocktails for
not too many.
Yeah,
not too many. Just we went out. It was late. We went to a taco truck at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
best tacos I've ever had in my life.
No. Well, yeah, they were 2:30 after being hammered. So generally, those are the best.
No, I had 2 beers over 4 hours.
Oh, then why? I thought you were hungover. That's why you.
No, we were just late night. We went out. We played blackjack last night. We went to the casino and played blackjack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you do?
Blackjack. I think I'm probably up like 300 and something. So we got a few nice meals,
just last
nice dinners.
night. Just from last night, or just
From
play
actually from 2 nights. So we did it a couple of
Okay.
nights back, and then we did it last night. So
That's not bad. Anything,
Yeah.
any win in the casino is good. I don't care.
And it was a lot of fun, though. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Laughs and whatnot.
A lot of laughs. What's the table minimum? What's the table minimum in a room?
On that one, $15 was the minimum. But there's an in-between game I've never played before. We were playing where there's 2 circles next to your what do you call it? The pot. Not the pot.
Yeah.
Your bet. And you can if you get a straight or a flush or trips.
Little side bets.
And it becomes, now there's like 2 or 3 games in one.
Right.
And then we have
the worst bet in the casino.
They do, but when you get that rhythm going and the whole tables,
it's fun. Yeah.
And people start like splitting.
You get table
going,
people and doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it fun.
And Ray was doing something. He goes, "Hey, you're naked over here." He goes, "I'll bet it," and then it would win. And he goes, "We'll split it." And then all of a sudden, he gives you half of it. It's like, okay. So that kept things going.
That's cool
because he wants you to hang out. Because I was like, all right, I'm ready to give it the heave ho. I was ready to get out of there. But,
Aruba Ray likes to stay awake.
We were laughing. When you're laughing at that point, if you get over the hump, if you get over that, like, oh, I'm tired. If you get past that, then you get wired again. But that's what I don't like doing, because I like to get some sleep. You know what I'm saying?
I got it. Understood. Yeah, I'm on this Anthem. I was on the Odyssey a week ago. I had a week home, but it's the same ship, sister ship, and I'm basically in the same room, and it's just the weirdest. You have that deja vu.
You got the Groundhog Day thing going on.
I'm like, did I leave here?
Is it?
But yeah, I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I see. Do you have a ring light, or is that what kind of lighting are you using right now? Overhead?
It's the light above. It's a light above my desk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
But I stayed in the DoubleTree in New Jersey.
How many trees
Saturday night?
How many trees are in there, by the way?
2.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, that's why it's called.
So Saturday you stayed at the DoubleTree. Continue, please.
And I did an Uber Eats. I'm thinking, out of the food. I went downstairs. I looked at the bar menu. It's like $22 for a hamburger. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not doing that. It's so stupid.
Inflation came down, man.
It's ridiculous. I mean, seriously, I'm not going to. So anyway, DoubleTree hamburger, $22. Good. Anyway, I order Uber Eats, and that thing always becomes. It's like, you look at.
You think it's a deal, but it's
$18, and then that becomes $42 when. By the time I hit
driver's fee, blah blah blah,
and it was a town. So I got chicken parm and some pasta and a salad, and they go, delivery time 8:00. I'm like, all right, and then 8:00 comes, no delivery. I'm like, you mother. So I look at the app, and the thing hadn't been picked up yet. So the food is sitting. I had this in the past, same scenario. These things suck. Next time I'm spending the $22. For the DoubleTree hamburger and be done with it. It never comes. So I am on the app and they go, oh yeah, you never didn't take the order. We need someone new. So what happens to me? I just here and
they're supposed to cancel and you're supposed to get it for free.
No, that did not happen. They reset it and said now your new delivery time is 8:20, and that's the one that's free. After that one, it was a second. So 8:05 or so they write me, oh, your driver's on the way. That thing arrived at 8:18, right before the 8:20. So, but anyway, it comes, no utensils, of course. They ask you, do you need utensils? Yes, I do. And then I even write in the notes, I'm in a hotel. I need it because not every hotel, this one did, but not every hotel does. Mm-hmm. And so it had no dressing for the salad. After it asked me which out of 100, which one I wanted. So I have a plastic thing of lettuce, dry lettuce, and a cucumber, and no way to eat a chicken parm, no utensils, no napkins, not just what the fuck? You know what I mean? You just suck at this. So I go downstairs, I get the utensils, they have them. And then I write to Uber again. I go, yeah. They go, how was your meal? I go, zero. It sucked. The whole thing, this sucks. And then they wrote me right back and go, we're refunding your whole thing. So it's like, all right. So I got a free, but I'd rather have a hot meal. You know what I mean? This thing it was cold. It was shitty. It was a shitty little
no microwave in the DoubleTree
room.
No
microwave. Isn't
it funny how some of the higher end hotels have nothing because they want you to go on and buy that $22 burger?
Exactly. Yeah. And I've said it before, like a Motel 6 has free Wi-Fi and it's super fast. And you can go to
they got microwaves, they've got little refrigerators.
Right.
They
do, yeah. And if you go to a Ritz-Carlton, you got to pay $22 a day for Wi-Fi, and there's nothing included. They have 2 channels. It's very strange. But, yeah. So anyway, then I got on this thing the next day, and this is those gigs we like. They're great on paper, where you work the first night and the last night. That's all you do. Fucking easy. But then when you get, but when you get there, it becomes like, what day is it? What's happening?
That's a long stretch, the first night and the last night. It's not my preferred. People go, oh, you go all that time. I don't prefer that at all because it's too much. Unless I've got a task that's going to keep me busy for a few days, I don't care for that much of a stretch.
Yeah, no, it's a long time. First night, last night, and I got my flights. I'm doing the crossing in 2 weeks. I'm going to be on the.
You don't do crossings.
I don't.
You're Al Romas.
I don't. I got hoodwinked.
The Royal Caribbean, whatever you are. You're the child.
I don't know what I am. I got the child. I'm the child, the bastard child.
Crying? There's no crying in baseball. You don't do crossings.
I don't. I got hoodwinked. It was, when you take your dates, I just saw 2 weeks.
Did Robin hoodwink you?
Well, they sent them in the middle of dates.
They buried it.
It was a 2-week symphony. I'm like, all right. That's Adam. And it says Miami. They give you that. Miami, fucking do that. Yeah. And now it's Miami, 9 sea days. Then we get to Spain. I know. Malaga.
Yeah.
Valencia.
Yeah.
And then I leave the next day from Barcelona. But
Valencia, we were not impressed with, and maybe we just didn't go to
why are you shitting on my good time?
But Malaga, we enjoyed very much.
Oh man, why no Valencia? What was the?
I just it just seemed very arid port. If I remember, it was maybe I'm wrong. I'm thinking of something. It just seemed uneventful, and I think getting out of the port was a little bit of a trek. But you can take a shuttle or something. But it just didn't seem like it was much going on once you get out there.
Right. Like a lot of ports, to be honest.
Yeah. But Malaga, it kicked butt.
Yeah.
Well, I was with Bernie. So we went into the couples all day dining.
Well, I'm going to be with Bernie too. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, let me know if she puts out because it didn't happen on my trip. What?
Well, we meant to tell you. I don't know why. She was supposed to tell you this week.
Well, you know what it is? She said she was going to be going with another comedian. I didn't really realize it was you.
Well, now I hate to be the, not bad news. It'll be good news.
That's good news.
Away at home, and
I get a break.
She'll have fun in Spain. Well, she'll have 9 sea days. So
yeah.
It's a I don't know. I'm going to do it. Whatever. I agreed to it. I'll do it. And hopefully it's, whatever. Hopefully I've done one many, many years ago. I did one crossing Europe to Miami or whatever. But with Sal Richards. Remember Sal? Do you remember Sal Richards?
I don't believe I remember Sal Richards.
So
you have 9 sea days, but the crossing itself is only 6, right?
No, the crossing's 9.
And then you just have sea days in between some of the ports, so it's broken up.
No, we're going Miami for 9 days to Malaga, then Valencia, then Barcelona.
Wow.
So the whole thing's 12
I've never spent 9. I spent 8 days once because we had bad weather and they added a day, but it's always been 6 or 7 for the cross.
Dude, I spent 72 days once in the United States Navy, son. USS Guam, LPH-9, helo carrier.
Thank you for your service. No, I'm not going to say all hands on deck. I'm not going to say it. Who was your bunk buddy?
Oh, funny. Hey, I was talking to, this was kind of interesting, or maybe, I don't know. It's early here. I feel like I literally got out of bed and just got on the pod, but I was up for a bit drinking, but podcasting at this hour. You know what I mean? Like the cobwebs are here.
I don't know how those people do those 6 a.m. radio shows back in the day. How did they do it?
You go to bed at 8 o'clock. Yeah, you get used to it. But yeah, that's a grind, man. That was and some of those guys did it for 20 years. You know, those morning teams.
Yeah, some of them got some lucrative contracts too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of them went from a small market to a bigger market.
And they'd always bitch, just like comics, but they'd be like, it's not Stern money. Stern's making money. Like, all right, you're doing fine in Ohio.
You're making 2.25. You know,
you're killing it. You're killing it actually here. So just shut up.
Your house.
It's not Stern money.
You paid $150,000 for your house. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Your girlfriend's 12. You're doing okay. You know what I mean? Like, just realize it's not Stern money.
You show up at the mall. You go, hey everybody, this is Bruce so and so from KBG 105. Blah, 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 blah. There you go. And they give you $200 cash.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty good. You're driving a car that you put nothing down, and you took a picture with the general manager outside.
They pick you up. They send you a limo. I've seen these guys, local guys, get picked up in a limo with the radio call signs on it and all that. And then they're in bed. They have a nice dinner. They're in bed, and then they do it all over again. Groundhog Day.
And they're all at least 50 pounds overweight.
Yes,
every one of them. I was in radio for a bit, short time, but you just see it because that's the lifestyle. It is all just fast food. Everyone's leaving, going, "Hey, I'm going to make a run." Anybody want? And then it's Arby's. Yep, Arby's. And they're in there all day. Always a box of donuts open in the reception area.
Usually free, sometimes free because they're your sponsor. They send it over.
And Wi-Fi little issue there, Alfred.
It's okay. It's fine in this end.
Okay, all right. So I'm talking to yesterday. I'm talking to my lovely girlfriend Kelly, and she went over to Publix to get some groceries.
Sorry, we haven't done that in a long time.
Breaking news. So
Kelly goes to Publix.
Back in the day. Go back and listen to some old eps, folks. Kelly went to Publix, and you gotta love men. You gotta love dudes.
I like
the
women.
Confidence and the well, you gotta love men, Alfred. This is what I'm telling you. You gotta love men. This is hilarious. I'm looking. If you're on Patreon, I hope this is hilarious. Hal's face hasn't moved in 5 minutes. It's like a painting.
It's fine here. You're moving. I can hear you.
It's crazy. It's so frozen. But you look like you're listening, so I'm gonna continue. I keep looking at it going, is he gonna nope, he's not moving. All right. So yeah, she went to Publix, which is a grocery chain in Florida, if you haven't been there, and buying a couple of things, and she goes and she sees ravioli, bags of ravioli or whatever are BOGO. And she's like, oh, I'll get some, BOGO, buy one, get one, folks, if you haven't done it. BOGO. So anyway, she gets the 2 bags, and then this guy comes over, and he's a big guy, big fat guy,
radio guy,
hair.
Radio
and
guy.
He's like a radio. That's what Kate did. Exactly. He looks like he's on the morning radio, and he's got his daughter with him, and she's like 19 or 20 or 30. I don't know how, but she's an adult. So then he says something like to Kelly, going, "Oh, you like those raviolis? Pretty good, right?" She's like, "Yeah, I don't really eat them, but because it was basically probably for me." And she goes, "Yeah, pretty good. I don't eat them, whatever." And he goes, well, you don't eat them? Okay, well, maybe you want to come by the house tonight and have a cocktail." And she's like,
So did she go?
What? Yeah, well, this is the story, Alfred. This is the story.
I know.
So boom, chicka, boom, bow, wow, wow. And she says the daughter is like, fucking staring at the floor, humiliated. Like, Dad, really? You're really gonna pick up with? But when she told me the story, I go, oh, what? But then she's like, he's a big fat guy, greasy hair. But I just love the confidence of guys. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe he does that
with his daughter.
If you do that with your daughter, it's a three-way. What if you did that 15 times
you're gonna hit
week?
You're gonna hit eventually.
Right. One or two women are gonna come to your house and have a cocktail, and then you can behead them and have sex with their dead corpse. So it's not a bad plan. But
I didn't know you were going to go serial killer dismemberment. I thought you were going to go numbers. Like, there are guys, and I'm working with a few of them right now. It's just numbers. They just like, because I used to have to get the liquid courage and the whole build up, and you know what I mean? It depends on my mood and whatnot. I didn't have really that much game. But these guys just like, they get rejected. It's just part of it. Reject. Bing. Okay.
Who's this? Who?
Just
I didn't hear who you're talking.
Tons of comics, a lot of comics. Yeah.
Oh, comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, so she was like, "Oh, can you believe it?" I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "But I give this guy credit,
Give him credit, and the fact that she should be taken as a compliment too.
That's what I said. And she's like, "Oh, please, this guy is so gross." I'm like, "It's still a guy, though. It's like, it's someone who found you attractive. I think that's whether it's like, who cares."
What if he wasn't? What if he wasn't a big, heavy, greasy guy, and she was single?
Yeah.
What about that?
It's a different story. Podcast.
We met at Publix. I was buying raviolis, and he invited me over. And I said, "What the hell?" I went. We fell in love, and now he's dead, and I have his mansion.
Oh, then I can come into the mansion. I like that story. That's a good.
That's a good one. There you go.
That's not bad.
I was trying to benefit you.
No,
you walk into the mansion.
Yeah. Then she calls me and goes, "Hey, I live in a mansion."
And people come over. Wow, Al's doing it. He's killing it, man. His comedy career is killing it.
Well, that Patreon money is killing.
It adds up.
Wow.
Over a course of 1,000 years, it adds up.
Yeah. I think we need about 10,000 years. Hey, folks, if you're not on the Patreon, join us. Patreon.com/the2dicks. Video of every podcast and merchandise. And then we pop on there every now and then. We should do it more, but we're busy, folks. We're busy.
We're traveling.
We
international
pump out a podcast every week, no matter where we are. Which a
new one. Then we post an old one as well. So the classics from the vault.
2 a week, but there are guys who are home in the same town who podcasts have fallen over and quit, and they're literally, it could be easier. So we actually make the effort. That's my point. We make the effort, folks.
We do.
Hey, we had a question this week. It's a weird. I guess it's just for me, but I don't know who this is, so it's good that someone.
Can we do the question thing?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Questions.
We have a question.
Yeah, I didn't really think of it as a big question but you'll see. Anyway, it's Rhetwood Harm 29. Rhetwood Harm 29. He wrote, "Has your dog walked off that $4,000 bill from his ACL?"
That's directly from your act.
Right. So yeah, sir. That dog passed away.
So he walked it off. He took it to the
grave. He did. So the answer is he had a couple good years left with his leg, and he had a great time. So
yes, no, the surgery you got a we're talking about Max, correct?
Yeah, Max. We got a lot of years. He was about 9. So he lived almost he lived almost 5 years after the surgery. After the surgery. But it's funny when I do that. A lot of the times, there's almost always an older guy shakes his head the whole bit. Like you can see a guy in the second row just.
Well, those are the people that like, if your dog, you take him out back and you shoot him with a shotgun and you bury him. That's how you do it.
What are we? This is an 1805. We don't
All right, give him a steak. We're going to put him down this afternoon. Give him a steak.
We don't get. Oh, today he gets
Take
the
him
steak.
up. Take off behind the barn.
It's yeah. There's always that guy though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry, but yeah. So thank you, Redwood Harm 29. He's crossed the Rainbow Bridge.
Yes. Now out here on the island, there's a lot of like just stray dogs, but
sure.
this particular sometimes when you go to these places, third world countries, and elsewhere, the dogs, you can see their ribs coming through, and they're like, but these dogs are all plump. They all hang out by the food trucks. Everybody feeds them. They're just, but they're still, they're homeless. They're just like, they're just walking around with collars. Bernadette's like, oh my God, we're going to save them all. I go, let's just get a taco. Let's just get a taco and leave.
It's 2:30 in the morning. Let's just
I go, look at, they're plump. They're not starving.
Yeah.
And this is what they do.
They sleep on the beach. Yeah, they're homeless, but a lot of Caribbean, you see them everywhere. Some Caribbean towns like Belize or something, those dogs are starving.
Yeah.
They look like shit. But yeah, Aruba dogs, that kind of thing, they're doing okay.
They were actually overweight. Some of them were overweight.
That's embarrassing. You're a Caribbean dog and you really drop 10. Would you? That's good. Not a good look. Hey, we lost a legend.
Another one.
This is becoming a weekly segment. Holy shit. I mean, I'm telling you, this next 5 years, they're all gone. The next 5 years. That's my prediction.
We lost Raquel Welch last week.
Right. And this week, and this guy's a legend for comedians and a guy most people know because of not through comedy. They know
Criminal
through
Intent
acting,
SUV.
But
yeah,
Law and Order.
He was on two
of
those. Yeah,
The Bells. Richard Belzer.
78. Was he 78?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he had some health issues over the last, a lot of health issues over the last few years.
Yeah.
But do you remember when Hulk Hogan put him in a headlock to show him a wrestling move, and he passed out and hit his head in the ground and busted his head open? It hemorrhaged and he almost died. Ended up suing Hulk Hogan for millions and bought a house in the south of France with that. Right. And then he went on to do all those detective shows. What was his name? Detective
Munch. They wrote it. Barry Levinson heard Belzer on Howard Stern and said, and thought that's like Munch. And then they met, and then he wrote the character for Belzer. So he put in all his conspiracy theories, all his, religious shit. Hey, babe, all that. And it worked. I mean, 22 years. It worked well. Did you work with Bells? Did you know him? Did you run around with him?
I did not, but I would see him on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I lived on West 73rd. He lived in the hood. I don't know exactly where, but because he was tall and, he was always like an odd looking fellow, but he had his sunglasses on.
Shades. He was thin.
But he was very sensitive to light, is what I heard.
Yes.
He may have been in one of the clubs over the years. I get confused. In New York, you just never know. But I've never seen him perform live.
I worked with him at the DC Improv, mid 90s. Did a week with him, and it was great. He was great. He was so over the top nice. But he told me the Hogan story, and he was saying how he had been on, because I go, well, what was the setup of that? He goes, yeah, I was saying the wrestling was fake. I was saying it was all bullshit. And then Hogan came out with Mr. T.
Sleeper hold.
Yeah, and then they said, oh, it's bullshit. Oh, let's show him something here. And then Mr. T was like, put him in a sleeper hold. And he's like, all right, T, I'll do it. And he held him, but he dropped him. That was the thing. So he goes, Belzer goes, like, I'm out. He goes, I only know it from watching the tape. And then Hogan lets his arm out, and Belzer hits the floor hard. And that was Belzer's show. He had a talk show.
Yeah.
And if you see the video, you can go to YouTube and look at this. Belzer pops up and goes, we'll be right back. And then back to sleep. And then they were like, his doctors had no idea how he did that. Just pure reaction and adrenaline.
Yeah.
And professionalism. But yeah, Sue for the millions,
Now I've
and then
actually
bought a
lost.
place in the south of France. And
Yeah. Yep.
You
we
lost me
for a second. You guys sued for millions and bought a
just for a
house in the
second.
South.
All right. Yeah, you got 400K. That's what they settled on.
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
It was going to take forever. This is from the mouth of the bell.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah, he said it was going to take years, and he goes, "I wasn't going to pay." So he goes, "I gave it and that's 1993. Say 400,000."
Oh, so that's like a 1.2 or something. And then he bought the house in the south of France before real estate went crazy. He bought an old manor, which is a dime a dozen out there. So he scored on that.
Yeah. But he was great. Every time I come off stage, he was in, he's in the great DC Improv. He walked down 3 steps. He would just give me the biggest hug and squeeze my ass. And then he'd go on stage.
Everybody I talked to about him said that he was great. One guy said I worked with him. I was making a pittance, and he just tipped me.
He really, he loved talking about it. He would hang there, and his wife was there, and she was like doing the thing of like looking at her watch, like we should go. And he'd be like, "Yeah, we're just talking, babe," and it was fun. And then I heard a story. I don't know where I heard this story. Where who was it? It was Jimmy Miller, Dennis's brother, who's a agent, and they were talking to somebody, a comic back in the day, and they were all talking, and they were like, Dennis is really killing it this year because he just got Saturday Night Live. So they're talking to Jimmy Miller about, oh, your brother's killing it, and he found his voice. He really found his voice, and he's just great. And how did he do it, though? This is a comedian asking Jimmy Miller, how did he find his voice like that? And Jimmy goes, he's doing Belzer, which was, if you look back, it really is true. In the early
cadence.
Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, babe.
Yeah, babe.
It's Belzer, 100%. And Belzer, nobody knew. He's just the MC at that time at Catch. But when you look at those early Miller clips, it's pure Belzer, 100%. So there you go, Alfredo.
Well, I remember Richard Lewis and Paul Reiser had a little rivalry about Richard Lewis. Like, you're stealing my whole persona. What are you doing, man? You're taking it all. He goes, I'm just
I never
doing my
saw
thing.
That, though. I heard that. I never saw that. Well, I never thought anything was.
Richard Lewis was, paranoid about everything.
Well, he's another guy. Looks like he walked out of a box. I mean, he looks awful. I don't know what. Have you seen Richard Lewis lately?
Not since breakfast.
Scary look. Well, fucking tell him to go take a nap because
I told him to put a robe on. I said, dude, you got to put a robe on. This is crazy. This comedian condo thing. That
last Curb Your Enthusiasm season, Larry's nice to put him in, but every time he tries to, they look at him, you see he just looks like what's the guy from HBO, the Crypt Keeper. He looks like he's dressed like that. He looks like that. He can barely say a line. It's like, oh, it's painful. Awful.
My good neighbor, Tony Bazzani, grew up with
that the old lady.
No, this is back when I was in New York City. Grew up with Richard Lewis, so whenever Richard would come to town, they'd go hang out together, have dinner or whatnot. And he goes, he hasn't changed. He's like still neurotic and just a mess. He goes, but once a year, twice a year, we meet up.
I wish nothing bad, but it just seems like all of them, they all seem that way. All the fucking legends. It's depressing. Every day you turn your phone on, you're like, oh boy, oh boy, who bit it today?
And also the owner, Rick Newman, who started Catch Rising Star. I don't know if you've ever crossed paths with him, but
yes,
we did, because he had sold his club by the time I worked at Catch, or at least controlling interest in it. But he actually saw me and Bernadette somewhere and hired us to perform at a country club out on Long Island, and picked us up in a nice Streamliner van, and we drove out together. And super nice guy. So told us some stories. Pat Benatar, he was the Pat Benatar manager there in the beginning, I guess.
Well, discovered her when she came in to catch. They used to have she would sing between acts. This is before we were around, but yeah, so she was part of the catch, scene there. I met him at the other club when he sold the original catch.
Mm-hmm.
Then they opened that other one, I think, on like 82nd, or I don't know, like. But he was great there, and it was funny. He was very low key. I remember one night, I was either waiting to go on or I went on, and he was just at the bar sitting by himself having a drink or water or whatever, and we started talking. And he was just like, very cool, non-assuming guy, but it's like,
wasn't barking out orders at anybody. Everything was like,
no way,
businessman,
right?
But loved that whole entertainment thing.
Yeah, and then I started doing the Princeton. I'm sure you were there many times. Catch in Princeton. Did you do that gig?
Well, that's when it was taken over by Susie Yengo and Craig Neer.
That was right. I did it it was still
Neer or Neer.
I did it before them. I was doing it when it was.
It was still Newman.
Catch.
So yeah, I got you.
Because that's how I got it. But then I moved a year or two later, and then I think it was sold.
Yeah,
and I don't know who. I never.
He cashed out
again after that.
He did well.
Good.
Newman did well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he went the day after Belzner, and then they kept showing pictures of them together, and I guess Newman interviewed Belzner, so that's out there somewhere.
Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I was looking at some stuff the other day, but the Wi-Fi here is so bad.
That's a brand new ship. Why?
It's broken. They need to go into.
Is it your cabin? Sometimes you can.
It's the ship. The ship.
Really? Why?
It's this one. I don't know. The Wi-Fi is not.
The IT working. Guys. I think they're all squeezing that bandwidth to save money and make more profits and screwing people. Good luck at sea for 9 days. The last crossing I did a few months back, we didn't have internet for like 4 days, 5 days. So
I can't.
Me and my wife got to talk to one another.
Horrible.
That's horrible. Everybody over here is dancing. They're teaching their kids how to fight, and over here they're just dancers. What do? Come on, I gave you the line.
A dance instructor.
I'm a dance instructor. I'm kidding. Dudley Moore, Arthur. Okay, I was butchered.
I'm a dentist.
I'm a dentist. Oh, that too. That line was in there, right? He had two lines. I'm a dentist. It's horrible. Oh, that blood.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh God!
Yeah, that was great.
That barfly was terrific, wasn't he?
That's one of those scenes you'd like to see. Right, he's great. I'd love to see those.
Is there an announcement? Yes. What are they saying?
We're going to be testing the emergency generators in 15 minutes.
All right, we got 15 minutes to wrap it up before they start going. Men and women. Men and women and children. Men stay in.
We're wrapping it up. This Wi-Fi, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. All right, so we'll enjoy your crossing. When is your next land gig?
We'll chat. We'll chat before that.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
It'll happen. I'm doing. I'm at the Ruskin.
The Ruskin?
The Ruskin Firehouse.
I don't do any of those bar gigs anymore. I'm at the Ruskin Firehouse. We're going to make some apple cider and we're going to raise funds. It's a volunteer fire department. And everybody's got a bucket and we're going to light a fire and put it out for practice.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I don't know who that guy. That guy from Boston.
I pulled out a character.
All right. Yeah. I don't know.
Doing,
it's a
Paulie?
fire. Good, those. What would be a podcast without the drop by?
Well, we're in this condo,
Yeah.
So
I don't. Those firehouse gigs. I don't know. I took it and I got to do it. That's one of those things.
We were just discussing. I don't do those gigs anymore.
Well, no, I don't do bar gigs.
Firehouse gigs.
No, I'm talking about I don't go to a hotel bar.
9 out of 10 Firehouse gigs are a blast. Crowd is on fire.
It'll be
it's
good.
packed.
It'll be good.
Yeah,
right.
I actually like those quite a bit. I used to do.
Yeah, so I took one of those, but I take them and then I come home and then I'm like, what did I take that for?
Because it was a cash gig.
Cash gig, and then
by law, you're supposed to report all your income. By the way, sir.
Well, I'm sorry. What? These weren't working.
This connection is Wi-Fi.
What? Weird. And then I'm doing side splitters. That got me yesterday. They have a playhouse, a little 250-seat playhouse in Newport Richie, and they're doing comedy in that once a month. So I'm gonna do that.
That's gonna be great.
Once
a month. It's a special event.
Once a month.
250 theater. It's gonna be great.
Gonna be good. And that's that. And then I'm home. I think Saturday home Sunday. So and then that weekend is the Big Smoke in Miami. John Consoli, my buddy, a podcast guest coming up or down.
He's taking my place. He's taking my place. He's taking my place.
Well, we were hoping we would see you. If you could swing that, but it's gonna be a big thing there, Alfred. It's gonna be a big event.
I've done it with you.
Well, this is that
bigger
times
big
100,
right?
Because in the Hard Rock Event Center,
oh wow,
that whole thing. I mean, it's gonna be nuts. Okay. But yeah, so we're doing that. And then I come home, and then a couple days later, go to Crossing 9 days at sea.
Well, we wrap it up here tomorrow. We fly out in the afternoon to Miami, and then Bernadette continues on to Los Angeles, and I would go to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I will overnight there, and then I will join the Celebrity Millennium, and I will sail for 1 week, and then back to Los Angeles.
Wow! So away from home for quite a bit. Well,
3
you
weeks-ish.
were 3 weeks. I was thinking you were not home before Aruba, but you were.
No, I was home before Aruba.
All right.
10 days or so. Mm-hmm. It's all good, man. So thanks for listening, and thanks for supporting us on Patreon. If you're a Patreon member, you get to see the video of this, which is pretty incredible to see me struggling to keep my eyes open after being at the casino until the wee hours of the morning.
The taco truck at 2:30.
Truck.
Nice.
Best tacos on the island. I don't even remember the name of it, but it's pretty darn good.
I believe you. Peace!
Good luck in prison.
Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the 2 Als, 1 Pod podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Subscribe. Mary.
This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/the2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.